Imagine you're living on a massive island, almost entirely covered in ice, where the cold feels sharp enough to crack your bones. And the night sky stays pitch black for months without a glimpse of the sun. It's a place that feels distant from everything, isolated, alien, and almost like another world. That place is Greenland, a land many people assume is its own country, even though it actually isn't. Greenland isn't an independent nation. It's an autonomous territory belonging to Denmark. Wild, right. We often think of Greenland as standing on its own, like Iceland or Canada, but the truth is far more complicated. And this isn't just about maps or politics. It's about a long history full of conflict, colonization, struggles for self-determination, and battles over identity that have lasted for centuries. Greenland may look silent and frozen, but its story is fiery and full of turmoil. Long before Denmark's flag ever flew there, Greenland was home to Inuit peoples who migrated from Arctic Canada around 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. They lived as hunters of whales, seals, and polar bears, surviving in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Then, in the year 986, a Viking explorer named Eric the Red, who'd been exiled from Iceland for murder, discovered the ice-covered island, and interestingly, he named it Greenland to make it sound appealing, hoping people would follow him and colonize it. Imagine that humans were already doing political clickbait 1,000 years ago. From that moment on, Greenland was pulled into a far more complicated global history. For centuries, Greenland was part of Nordic expansion. But when the Viking settlements mysteriously vanished in the 5th, 10th century, the island essentially disappeared from European history until 1721, when Denmark-Norway reclaimed it and gradually made it an official colony. Greenland remained under Danish control for hundreds of years. It was NT until 1953 that Greenland's status changed from a colony to an official part of the Kingdom of Denmark. But the Inuit struggle for recognition and the right to shape their own future didn't end there. In 1979, Greenland obtained home rule, a significant form of self-government. Then in 2009, the Self-Government Act granted them even more power over their economy, natural resources, and domestic policies. Still, even today, Greenland isn't an independent country. Denmark still controls defense, foreign affairs, and major legal frameworks. Technically, Greenland remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark, not a sovereign state. And you might wonder, why don't they just become independent? The answer is because Greenland holds one of the keys to the world's future. Beneath the massive ice sheet that covers 80% of its land lie rare minerals, uranium, gold, and natural resources that could turn any nation into an economic superpower. And as global warming melts the ice, new Arctic shipping routes with multi-billion-dollar value are opening up. Suddenly, this remote, frozen island is being fought over by global giants. The United States tried to buy Greenland from Denmark back in 1946 for $100 million, and even in 2019, a US president brought up the idea. Again, people laughed, but the message was clear. Greenland is no joke. It's a geopolitical gold mine. And in the middle of all this, the people of Greenland are stuck in a dilemma. They have a strong Inuit identity and want to control their own destiny. But they also know that full independence means surviving alone in one of Earth's harshest environments. Many still rely on traditional hunting, and the cost of modern living is insanely high. Without Denmark's annual financial support, hundreds of millions of dollars, the system could collapse quickly. That's Greenland's biggest irony. They want to stand alone, but economic reality forces them to hesitate. Meanwhile, the world no longer sees Greenland as a frozen wasteland. It sees opportunity. The US, Russia, and China all have their eyes on it. Russia is strengthening its military presence in the Arctic. China calls itself a near-Arctic state and is eager to invest in Greenland's mining sector. The US has a strategic military base in Thule used since the Cold War to detect Russian missiles. So imagine this. A seemingly empty island is actually a giant poker table where world powers sit and fight over the future. As more ice melts each year, more secrets emerge. New Arctic shipping routes could drastically shorten travel between Asia and Europe, saving global industries billions. If those routes become permanent, whoever controls the Arctic controls a huge part of the world economy. Amid all of this, Greenlanders are realizing they're sitting on a political and economic time bomb. Imagine being a Greenlandic leader today. You have a once-in-history chance to build a rich, independent country. But one wrong step could destroy everything. Because the world isn't just watching, it's waiting to jump in. The US, Russia, and China would move instantly to secure their own interests. Every decision you make is a frontline chess move. Independence versus staying with Denmark isn't just a political choice. It's a matter of survival. And there's another layer people rarely talk about: climate change. Global warming isn't just a threat to Greenland. It's an opportunity. As the ice melts, more land becomes accessible for mining, for building new cities, for new ports. But the cost? Inuit ancestral lands slowly disappear. Their hunting traditions, core to their identity, are threatened. Animals move farther away. The very foundation of their culture starts to crumble. This is Greenland's greatest conflict: development or preservation, a booming economy or the survival of their heritage. You can't have both. Greenland's leaders must try to build a brighter future without losing who they are. Which leads to the biggest question hanging over Greenland's dark winter sky. What is independence worth if you must give up your identity to get it? What is freedom worth if it brings loneliness and collapse? On the other hand, does staying with Denmark mean giving up faith in yourself? Every Greenlandic family has its own answer, each shaped by different wounds and history. That's why a full independence referendum has never happened. Not because the people can't decide, but because they're not ready to face the consequences. And while the world waits, the political storm beneath Greenland's silent ice keeps swirling. Now you know. Greenland isn't just a giant block of ice. Greenland is a stage for the future of the world, a place that will shape geopolitics, the global economy, and the climate for generations to come. The question is no longer if Greenland will become independent, but when. And when that day comes, the world will shake, because this frozen island may become a new global power. So, now, let me ask you, if you were a Greenlander today, what would you choose? Stand alone as a new nation at the risk of falling, or stay with Denmark for stability, but give up full control of your land? Write your honest answer and your reason in the comments. Because Greenland's story isn't just theirs. It's a lesson for the whole world about the real meaning of freedom. And trust me, this is just the beginning. Thanks for watching!